Hi everybody, Penny here. Welcome to my kitchen. So today we are going to do what I'm calling Christmas scones because they have a little bit of cinnamon, few dried cranberries, and some white chocolate chips, as well as some what we in Newfoundland know as thick cream. Now, this is very common in Newfoundland. Here it can be a little difficult to find, but surprisingly enough, you can find that in an Asian supermarket. No problem. They must like it too. So it's all good. Okay, so in the large bowl, we have 4 cups of flour, a 1/4 cup of sugar, because we're going to have the cranberries and the white chocolate chips in there as well. We have 4 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. So we'll just get that all combined so it's evenly distributed. There we go. Now, part of the trick to this recipe, and it's basically a T-bun. In Newfoundland, we call them T-buns. Here in Ontario, they tend, if you go to Tim Hortons, it tends to be a T-biscuit. And in England and the UK, it's called a scone or whatever. It's all good, whatever it is. Okay, so there is our dry ingredients. Now, we're going to add 1 cup of butter, and I've already got some grated in the fridge. I'll show you. Okay, so this is 1 cup of butter, and it's already been grated. So if you put your butter in the freezer and then grate it, it stays cold in your flour, and then as it's baking, it helps puff up your T-bun or scone. Okay, so that's our new puppy Daisy, and she likes to bark. So there'll be a picture of her at the end of the video if you're interested. She's the new addition to the family, and she's sweet. Okie dokie. So we're going to cover this in some flour. Then I'm just going to cut it in a little bit. And we have a squirrel stuck to our screen. He's gone again now. So if you don't want to grate it, you could just cut it up into little cubes, and then, take a fork if you don't have a pastry cutter like this one and work it in. Or you could just take your hands, rub it together, and make it till it's all nice and crumbly. There we go. Getting there. So you want your butter to be, no bigger than a green pea. So just take just a minute. Sorry, glass bowl on the counter makes a noise. Okay. Pretty well there. And she does like to bark. And that's all right. I think she's adorable. So we'll just take that off. And there we go. So we'll lay that over there. And now we're just going to take about 1/2 cup of cranberries, dried cranberries. Now, if you really like cranberries, you can put in a whole cup. I like them, but they're not my all-time favorite, so I just have 1/2 cup. But I do have a whole cup of miniature white chocolate chips. So good. So, I'm just going to distribute those around. That looks good already. Oh my goodness gracious. There we go. So, we're going to lay this just to one side for a moment. And then we're going to take this bowl and we're going to put in 1 egg. 1 egg. There we go. Get that over there out of the way. And I'm going to beat this up. And then I am going to add the thick cream. Now, if you can't find the thick cream, don't worry about it. Just use regular milk. I'm also going to add some tin milk. And look at that. Oh my goodness. I'm going to get the milk out of the freezer. It wasn't up there all day. It's only been up there for about an hour because I want it to be nice and cold to help with the cold butter. So I'm going to put the cream in here, plop, because I want 1 cup of liquid. There we go. And we'll put that in with the eggs because the cream needs to be whipped. And so we'll whip those together. We will. There we go. I'm making a mess, but that's all right. So we're going to whip that up. There. Till it's really, really nice and smooth. Haha. Now we're going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Now, Barry doesn't like mint. So these are Christmas scones. If he did like mint, I would put peppermint in here. But be careful, it can be really strong. So anywhere, I'd say from a 1/4 teaspoon to a 1/2 teaspoon of mint would be lovely. So now I'm going to use this again to get another 1 cup. So it's a total of 2 cups. I'm just going to use the last of the can. There's no point putting that back in the fridge. No one's going to use it. Okie dokie. So we'll put that in here. Again, we'll just scrape out all that goodness. There we are. Get that all combined. The oven is preheated at 350. Okay. Let's get all that out of the way. Now we're going to go back to our original bowl and we're going to make a well. And all that means is to make a little hole in the middle. And then we're going to be able to fold in, instead of having to mix, we're going to fold in our wet ingredients. There we go. Now we are going to leave back just a little bit. Literally just a little bit in the bottom of the bowl, because when our scones or buns or biscuit is ready, we're going to brush some of that on the top, and that will help make them nice and golden brown. But like I said, if you don't have tin milk or you don't have the thick cream, it's okay. Just use whatever milk you have in the fridge. Could be 50/50. Eggnog. Now, buddy, eggnog would be awesome. There we go. And that's not a wet dough like a cake, but we're going to not knead it. We're going to fold it a little bit in some flour. So you don't want it to be too wet and you don't want it to be too dry. And we are going to use our cutting board for that. And I've already got a little bit of flour here. There we go. And step number 1 is always to wash your hands. So that's already done. So now we're going to take all of this and put it out on the board. And it's quite heavy, but we'll get her done. There we go. There we go. So it comes out a little everywhere, but that's okay because we're gonna fold it together and make layers. We're not gonna knead it. We're gonna fold it together and make layers. Barry's trying to help. Here we go, Chef Barry. He's my sous chef. And let me see. Can you pass me a knife, babe? Get this off the spoon. Thank you. He was going to help me with the heavy bowl that time. But now he's just here to eat the raw dough. because he loves it. Absolutely loves it. There you go.
There you go.
So I'm going to put a little bit of flour on my hands and scoop up the flour from the sides because it is wet. And we're just going to fold. Okay? We're not going to knead. We're just going to fold. There we go. And we're going to fold. And we're going to fold. And we're going to fold. We don't want to knead it. We just want to fold it. Right? I'm going to fold. Okay. Now. Just a few times. Nothing serious. So now I'm going to cut it in half. Roughly. And we're just going to fold it a little bit again. There's Daisy. Daisy likes to bark. Now, Barry, if you could put the, bring over the pan for me. So make it about 1.5 to 2 inches high. And you should be able to see the little bits of butter in there. Okay? And we're just going to lay that over here. Would you like to lift Daisy up and show everybody? Here, Daisy. What you doing? Okie dokie. Say hi to all the people. Say hi. This is Daisy, and she's a Cavapoo. She's part Cavalier King Charles Spaniel and part Poodle, and she's adorable. Yeah.
And loud.
And loud. She's very loud. But okay, so now we have our roundish scone. So using a very sharp knife or a pastry cutter like I have here, put a bit of flour on it so it doesn't stick too much. We're going to cut it in half. Cut it in half again. And cut those in half. So we end up with 8 scones. Okay. So now we're going to do that again with this one. Make it as round as we can. Doesn't have to be perfect. This is home cooking. There we go. About 1.5 to 2 inches high. And we're going to bring it over to our pan. And then I'm going to put the pan over here so you can see it a little better. So he's not quite round. That's okay. So we're going to cut him in half. Flour our knife or pastry cutter, whichever you have. And then cut the quarters in half. And you will end up with 8 scones. So this makes 16 scones. So now we're going to take that little bit, see how that all settled in the bottom of the bowl? We're going to take that little bit of egg and cream and vanilla and milk, and we're going to brush it on to our scones. And try to brush them from the outside in, because if you try to brush them from the inside out, you might get a little too much liquid in the middle, and then the middle of your scones will be a little wet. I learned that the hard way. So yeah, it's all good. So we are going to put these in the oven for about 25 minutes on 350. And when they come out of the oven, we'll be back. Okay, our Christmas scones or tea biscuits or tea buns are ready. So as you can see, they come out nice and golden brown, and then you can just tear them apart like that. Yay! So we're gonna, Barry likes his plain, but I like mine with a little bit of butter and a cup of tea. Oh, look at that. That's delicious. No me, no me, no me. Look good, Caitlin? So good. I hope you give it a go. Enjoy. Bye.